Hello and welcome to the Gaming Circus. Today we'll be talking about Snapshot. This is a game where you travel the world on safari, taking pictures of the various specimens that you see. The aim of the game is to become the best wildlife photographer of the year. Let's have a look and see how it plays.
So this is Snapshot all set up and ready to go. You have the assignments, the deck for animal cards, the 4 locations: shoreline, savanna, mountain and rainforest. The bonus tokens at the top, so you have the one for having 1 animal from each location, and then these 4 are for having 3 animals from the same location. You have the scorecard over here, which is used at the end. The dice, which are used for you to take your photographs of the animals. And then you also have 3 animals that start out in the locations at the beginning of the game. These tokens over here are your research tokens, which can be used throughout the game to spend on various different items in the game. At the beginning of the game, you start with 2 tokens if you're the first player. Second player has 3 tokens. Third player has 4. And fourth player has 5. And each player gets an assignment. And the first player gets this little red panda meeple. So that is what it looks like all set up. I'll go through the 4 phases for the turn as an example for you to see how it actually plays. So the first phase of your turn is the research phase, which is where you draw an animal card. So for instance, we have the Bengal tiger here, and we'll place it in its location. Whenever you place an animal, it has to go in numerical order. So we have 2, 5, so the 10 for Bengal tiger will have to go there. I am going to risk it again and draw a card. For each card you do draw, you get a research token. And I think we'll stop there with the amount of cards which are drawn, as we have the 10 and the 9 out. So it's quite risky at this stage. The second part of the phase is to make sure you've got the right amount of research tokens for the amount of cards that you've drawn this turn. And then you want to move on to your prepare phase. So in this part, you have these 6 dice, and you get to assign them to the locations and the animals that you want to take photographs of. Choose if you want to add any research tokens to the animals to discount their cost. But also bear in mind that you can spend 2 research tokens to re-roll dice that you've put onto the locations. So I want to get the northern gannet. So I'm going to put a dice on there, a dice on there. I also want to go to the rainforest. And I want to get the ringtail quarterly. So I will also put a research on the Northern Gannet, and I'll also put research on the ringtail quotey. So once you've chosen where you want to place your tokens, you then move to the photography phase of the turn. So you start off by rolling your dice for location to see if you can explore the location. A 6 beats a 2, so you're fine. And we need to roll a 2 or better to get the Northern Gannet. And we got a 5. Which means that we can then add that to our pool. Any tokens that are on the card, once you've gained it, go back to the supply. If you fail, you would get that token back. So let's see what we get over on this side. So we currently haven't been able to successfully explore the rainforest, so we'll spend the 2 tokens that we do have and reroll. So we fail to get the rainforest, so this token will go back to supply. And if you fail exploring, you end up spooking the animal, and the animal goes to the discard pile, and you won't be able to get it. You can also, while flipping cards in your research phase, you could have reserved a card, which you could have put out at this stage and roll a dice for. Once this has all been completed, you collect and discard any tokens. So the 1 token that we would have had from being placed on him comes back to us because we weren't able to take a photograph of him, and then we claim any photography awards that we have succeeded at. There's 2 other things that are involved in the game. You've got reserving, so when you flip over cards and you can't place a card in a location like this, so a 4 is less than a 10, so you would have to reserve or not be able to act for the rest of your turn. If you can act for the rest of your turn, at the end of your turn you gain 3 research tokens straight away. And then you can play these when you decide in the photography phase and placing dice on them. So that is Snapshot in a nutshell. We'll go over to the sofa and compile our final thoughts. So that is Snapshot Wildlife Photographer. It's an absolutely brilliant game. The game mechanics run so smoothly. It plays in around about 30 minutes to an hour. So it can be fitted in as a filler game. It comes in this compact box with the gorgeous artwork, which makes it perfect for travelling. So you take it on holiday or just throw them to your friends. And the components are good quality, so they're going to last for a good amount of time. The rules themselves are very in-depth. They cover every possible scenario, which means that there's no sort of like, oh, what does this do? Which is really nice that they've thought about covering everything, and it includes a score pad as well, so there's no rummaging for a bit of paper to score your stuff at the end, which is something that we personally really liked. So overall, with the game, it's a very good family-friendly game, and it's perfect for playing with your friends around the table. It's good fun with the push your luck, where you can push your luck with the animals to get more research tokens, and then use your research tokens to impact your dice roll and try and make them better. So you have bits of control, but there's also a luck involved as well, which was a nice combination, that you had some control over what was going on, even though a lot of it was based on what was drawn or what was rolled. And I thought that made the game a very nice sort of fit for what we enjoy. So overall, that is Snapshot Wildlife Photographer. And if you're interested in going on safari and taking pictures, why don't you try and see if you can be the best wildlife photographer of the year. Speak to you soon, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Speak to you soon. Bye.